Sunday. Yes, we're talking about the hottest, hot, steaming podcast out there. So, welcome. Come on in. We want to welcome you and shout you out and say thank you for spending your time with us when you could be any place else on this sensational Sunday doing something completely different. So we are so glad that you are spending the time with us here to get some insight on finances and real estate, investing in real estate. Get yours in and see how you fit in and where you can get your ideas and money as well. So, welcome. Come on in. Can't wait to say thank you for coming on in. I'm telling you, the things that are going on behind the scenes are absolutely wonderful. We just had a national for 3 days going on of just definite, definite knowledge about investing in real estate and the latest trends that are coming up. So I'm telling you, investing in real estate is always a 24/7. And yes, I did say a 365 days. It doesn't matter what's going on out there in the market because there's always money to be made. You just got to know what you're doing. So that's why we're bringing to you a guest speaker that definitely knows what they're talking about. So before we get to the guest speaker, we want to shout out people that are joining on. Oh my goodness, Rich Rising family, you know it, ATL in the building. Welcome, Kim. Yes, we are glad you are here. Talk about a supporter. Man, if I asked her how many times she's attended, it is in the double digits of the Juice Show. So we definitely appreciate your support. Thank you. Big, huge hug and shout out to you. Love you, girl. So who else is out there? Let us know. We are definitely wanting to shout you out and thank you for chiming in on this sensational Sunday. We definitely have a big surprise in store for you with this guest speaker because I kid you not, talk about a bunch of moving parts. I'm just trying to keep up with what I'm doing. So can't wait to share with you that. So who else is out there? Yes, Kiera, Grand Rising family in New Jersey in the building. You know it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else that's out there, go ahead and feel free to put in the chat where you are chiming in from so we can definitely shout you out this morning. Absolutely. Let me get my specs on here. So we're looking at sharing our video today because if we are, we're talking about people that, like I said, behind the scenes are so talented, absolutely talented. Ooh, Felicia in, I'm going to say Florida. I'm assuming it's West Palm Beach. If I got that right, let me know because that one was a doozy. But ooh, good. I guess correctly. Thank you. Welcome, Felicia. And also Tisha, also in New Jersey with Kiera. Good morning. She's her neighbor. All right. We love it. Come on back and bring your family and friends and people that you meet as guests. Absolutely. The more, the merrier. Love to share the information. There is no competition amongst us. We love to share. So we think about collaborating. So, oh my goodness, we got people jumping on. All right, here we go. More folks. So now we got a behind the scenes video of our own. So feel free to sing and dance along. I do love the tune and the beat. So we let us know if you can hear it, share the sound. And then right after, we are going to introduce our juice crew and our special guests. Absolutely. We got a lot to do. I'm telling you, an hour goes by so fast on this podcast. It's like, what? What do you mean time is over? We just got started. Absolutely not. All right, everybody.
Yeah. Come and get the juice. Yeah.
Juice is respect, power. How far will you go to get it?
Yes, how far will you go to get the juice? So let me introduce to you the Juice Crew. We're talking about Jerry, we're talking about James, we got Bobby, we got Teresa, we have myself as well, and we also have Chelsea Gray. Oh my goodness. So without further ado, let's get this party started. Oh my goodness. I am thrilled to welcome today's guest speaker. He is a seasoned entrepreneur with over 10 years of experience in the real estate industry across Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. His journey is all about more than just business. It's about building a community and creating pathways to success for others. He is the founder of Brilliant Blocks Inc., a one stop, yes, I did. I said a one stop shop that meets all real estate needs. A licensed realtor, he has a unique ability to help renters transition to homeowners. Ooh, while also thriving as a real estate investor himself. His current focus is on revitalizing neighborhoods and boosting home values through renovations. Some things that's helping to reshape and improve communities. But his contributions just don't stop there. Absolutely not. He is also an executive in network marketing and continues to explore new entrepreneurial ventures, setting fresh personal and professional goals with every step he takes. His passion, drives, and dedication, and truly contagious. And his work serves as an inspiration to those who want to make meaningful changes in their own lives and communities. Whether you're looking to navigate the real estate market or seeking a private consultation, he is always available to help meet your needs and guide you to your journey. So let's give a warm round of applause and welcome to Derek Seymour. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Big,
appreciate that. I
big
was listening
Derek.
for a minute like, whoa, who is that guy? No, but thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome and introduction.
My pleasure.
Appreciate
Take it
that.
away, guys.
Let me pin the song. 1 second here. I'm doing stuff that I don't normally do. So today we're a little short-handed. We got our man James. He's coming home from nationals, right? Our national event that we do every year. So if you don't or haven't heard of it, oh my God, it's one of our community extravaganzas that we have. We hold it once a year. And man, it definitely was a powerful experience. And hopefully people who got a chance to see it, got online, or maybe if you were out there in Utah, man, I know it was such an awesome experience, right? So today is our guest from Chicago, Illinois, man. How you doing, Mr. Derek? How's
I'm
everything,
good.
my brother?
Good, brother. I'm good, man. I'm good. Just happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome. And so what we do here and what we like to, kind of get that backstory, man. Kind of give
Mhm.
us where you started, like what did that look like for you, kind of your introduction into this community and what you've been doing.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I started back with Renatus, I want to say maybe around about maybe 2020. I want to say about 2020. But I have been around the community for years, actually. I was I was a guest for Nancy and Jay Abramovitz. So what happened was I had met Nancy at a Rich Dad Poor Dad conference, and she was there in attendance. So after it was over with, she walked up to me, asked me how did I like it. I said I liked it. It was pretty good, but they come and go, so they only here for a couple days. So she invited me out to Renatus. which once I got to Renatus, I realized I had been there years ago when it was Nouveau Riche, but it changed to Renatus. So she invited me out and I liked it and I liked it. I came a couple times, but at the time being, I was already doing real estate. So I'm just thinking like, do I really need this? I'm already doing real estate, what's the point? Do I really need it? So I came for years, to different things, different events they had. So then what happened? A friend of mine invited me out to come to Renatus. This was years later, once I got into my career and more comfortable. She invited me out, so I came out. Now, at this point in time, when I came out, I was thinking about joining because now I had people that was, coming to me, questioning me, asking, how to do real estate. They want to get mentored and taught. So I'm thinking like, okay, now would be a good time for me to add this education to my, to use his education because now I could just, send people to Renatus and they could get educated. I don't have to worry about creating a curriculum and things of that sort. So now I'm thinking about joining. And I was going to join. So the lady that brought me with her wanted me to sign up under her, but Nancy and Jay like, oh no, 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 no. We've been working with this guy far too long. We've been working with this guy for years. So I end up signing up, joining, and I went under Nancy and Jay, and from there it's been, a good journey.
The rest is history, huh? I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. I like that.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
so let me ask you, what before real estate, right?
Mhm.
Before all of the community stuff, what were you doing? What kind of business were you into?
So before I got involved in real estate, I was into trucking, and also before that, I was working with my father at Wrigley's Gum.
Okay. So no prior real estate experience or business experience at all.
No, 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 not
Okay.
until I jumped in, which was about 2005.
2005. Okay.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you, can you share one of those defining moments in your career which shaped this path, what made you say, you know what, real estate is the way to go? Was it that event that you said you went to? Or
So I had always had a passion for real estate since I was young. I was that and trucking. I always had the passion because I like real estate. I'm into I like to take things that's ugly and make them look nice. So
Mhm.
I already had a rehabilitation type of mindset. So I just remember at a young age, I'm saying I want to do real estate and I want to own real estate. So the passion was always there. But what made me finally delve into it, I just went to so many webinars and seminars and studied and listened and listened. I just one day was talking to my partner and I just said, you know what? I think it's time to do a fix and flip.
Nice.
And yeah, yeah. And she had done one previously, but she didn't have a good experience. So she was a little nervous about doing it. But I'm like, listen, I've been going to so many webinars and seminars, and I got so much, I've got the know-how. It's just time to jump off the porch and do it. And
Nice.
that's what happened. And it's been, it's been a beautiful journey since then.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What you got, Bobby?
All right, nice. Okay. So I through the introduction, it also said that you were an agent. So what came first for you? Was it becoming a real estate agent or investor that you started off with?
So I started as a real estate investor.
Mhm.
Again, I've been investing since 2005. I became a licensed agent, I want to say around 2020, right before the pandemic hit. So, reason why I
Okay.
became an agent was I didn't have enough inventory for people. A lot of people come in, they looking for houses, they want homes, and whenever you involved in real estate, people think you just do it all. They think you the attorney, they think you the agent, the investor. So what I said to myself was, you know what? I think I'm gonna become an agent for one, so I can control my own deals and get a commission. And for two, in between my real estate deals, I still will have inventory to sell people if they come to me looking for a house or if they want to sell a house. So again, to make my company more of a one-stop shop, I felt I needed to add that to my resume.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And even I'm playing around with it. I
Hmm.
have so many investor friends, but at the same time, when I was uh, becoming an investor and I was like, man, how come I should just reach out to agents and speak to them since they're already in the game. But what I figured out trying to get them to the investor side, they seem like they know everything already. Or my
Yeah,
experience. I'm going to
right.
them and, oh, well, this is going to happen. This. Oh, I don't need that. And this. I'm thinking, like, man, I think it would be a perfect marriage for an agent to get into the investing side as well. But hey,
Hmm.
I can only, lead them to water. I can't make them drink. But so
Right.
with that, so what, what's the first step for someone new to get into real estate investing? What do you think is the best options for them to take to become an investor and look into it?
I think the first step and most important step is to for them to educate themselves. I can't say that enough. The education is the most important part. And for people that want to get in real estate, they hate to hear that. They just want to jump in. They want you to just tell them what they need. They want to be able to jump in and go. I've had people I bought to the Renatus community and they purchased their education and wanted their education, but they still was ready to go. They just wanted to bypass that and they just was ready to go. So again, the most important part is the education because you got to know what to do and how to do it before you do it. But most people they don't want to hear that. They just want to jump in and get involved.
Say it again for the people in the back, brother, because
I'm
that is
telling you.
super facts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They want to jump in and they want to pick your brain and they want to go.
hmm
Yeah,
hmm
definitely. Absolutely.
What are some common mistakes you see new investors making?
Some common mistakes I see new investors make. First thing, pay too much for the property. Definitely, they jump in, pay too much for the property. They may look in the wrong places for the property. A lot of new investors go right to the MLS only. Now, I have found deals on the MLS, but that can't be the only way because most of those deals are retail priced. So, um, what else? They have a hard time with contractors. They might get overcharged for the contracting, definitely. If they can find good contractors, me myself, when I first got started, I went out trying to get the cheapest contractors I could find, and then end up having to pay double because I had to go find some good contractors to come back and fix what they did. So that's a big hiccup, finding the wrong contractors. And let me think, what other hiccups? Those are the two
The
major.
main
Once
thing.
you get involved it could be a mess. It could get worse as it go on because the more you lose money and you're not paying attention to what you have invested, it can go. I've seen properties not appraised for what they supposed to appraise for, so now you just at a total loss. I've seen people go into foreclosure and just lose, can't finish the project. So it's a lot, but I think at the beginning, the start, the biggest hiccups people make is the purchase price and dealing with the contractors.
I love how you said, is education will help prevent you from making certain mistakes. And overpaying for a property is definitely one of the key things. And then when you talk about contractors, the first thing that comes to mind metaphorically is getting your hair cut by
Uh,
the barber and then getting up out of that chair and go to the next bar. Hey man, can you fix this, man? He messed me
yeah,
up.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's
Oh yeah,
really hard to
definitely.
fix a haircut, right? So
Oh yeah, yeah.
so
And
I definitely can attest to that, right? So what
mhm.
what inspired you to start Brilliant Blocks Inc. and what is Brilliant Blocks Inc.?
So Brilliant Blocks Inc. Well, first, what inspired me to start it after I did maybe a deal or two, I knew I needed a company. I knew I needed it's a S corp. So I knew I need some type of company to you know, hold my real estate in, you know, for um, liability purposes. So, and then just like with everything, you know, you gotta just have a name for something. You know, you gotta have something. You gotta have a brand. So that was the first step. I knew for liability purposes, and I just needed a company, but you know, taxes and everything. Didn't want to put things in my own personal name. So I knew that much. So then it came to thinking of the name, and how I thought of the name was I knew a guy. He had a company, um, and it was called it was called Building Blocks. Building Blocks. So I liked the name Building Blocks. It was a construction company. I think he eventually went out of business. So off his company, Building Blocks, you know, I knew I couldn't use that. Didn't want to just steal his whole name. So it just came to me, Brilliant Blocks. So I went from there, and I started the Brilliant Blocks brand, and it's been going since then.
Nice. Like, let me get that name. That looks
Yeah, right.
good.
Almost.
For
Let me come
sure.
close.
And you know, in real estate, in the business and real estate industry, it is totally okay to borrow success, right?
Right, right.
Successful people or successful people in our community, they want you to borrow their success, whatever that
Absolutely.
looks like, or strategy or pathway in which they took and had success with that. They want you to follow suit, right? And so there's nothing wrong with that, right? So what do building brilliant blocks, the company, um, what what services do you guys provide?
So right now, I'm renting, buying, and selling residential properties. Also, I'm getting into the GC part of it a little bit, construction. I got a few guys I'm sending out to do jobs, so that's more of a newer venture. But mainly, what we do is rent, buy, and sell residential property.
Okay.
But I plan on becoming a managing broker, so I'll have the real estate brokerage part of it, and then also the construction part of it.
I was just gonna
So
repeat that. LaShawn put it in there. General contractor.
maybe later, maybe later I could get into the lending process. That's you know that's where I'm headed with this thing. You know, the easy money, the notes, the paper part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of the questions. What's the vision for the future for Brilliant Blocks? But since you already answered that, how do you ensure your clients receive top tier service?
Just by staying in communication with them and talking with them and talking them through the process as we go and just listening to their input and make sure they're happy and provide my expertise,
Mm.
Nice.
you
I
know,
wanted,
and
I kind of wanted you to say, building relationships currency. Ah,
building
it is.
definitely building relationships. Yeah, that's definitely important. You know,
Sure.
in fact, a big part of my business is I get a lot of referrals, a lot of people that I know. So it's the relationships that I have built, you know, over the years that definitely come in play.
For sure.
Mhm.
What you got, Bobby?
That's what's up. So you mentioned the S corp. Could you explain a little bit more about an S corp and the difference between an LLC, or because I know a lot of people just want to jump in and grab their LLC. Um, so you decided to go with the S corp. Is that
Yeah.
due
So
to strategy, or yeah?
so I just left that up to my account. You know, people go back and forth all day long in real estate with that. If you should use a S corp or LLC, I think they pretty much similar, but you know, due to tax purposes, some people you go this way, you go that way. Some people say you keep your rentals in the LLC and maybe you do the flips in the S corp. I'm not really sure with the legalities of it. I just kind of leave that to my accountant, so I don't
Hey,
get too involved.
brother, you explained it perfect, and that's
Yeah,
exactly it.
yeah,
So that's, the reason why I asked is because it's part of our curriculum as well. And as you
right,
mentioned earlier, is getting educated and
right,
having tax and legal day one and day two in our education, and leaving it up to your getting a good accountant, a real estate accountant, to the point
Hmm.
where they know the language that you're speaking, to the point where you can make that happen and they can like lead you in that direction. But also, we also have the education to know how to speak to accountant, to know what we
Right.
have to do. So that's why I wanted to speak to you on that. So, how what's the role of branding, your branding in real estate? Now I know you're talking about brilliant blocks. Do you use a lot of social media? Do you do your own marketing to make that happen, or are you working on a team?
Well, I do have a team. I definitely
Oh,
have a small team that helped me out a lot, big time. So,
mhm.
with the branding, most of it is through social media. Um, I do some flyers and things like that, but most of it is through social media. Uh,
Okay.
all the different social media outlets,
All right,
pretty
absolutely.
much.
All right,
All
so we're
get
gonna
the
have to get
message
your
out.
handle. Yeah, we have to get your handles a little later, so we can connect you and put it out there
Definitely.
for people. So let them know more about Brilliant Blocks, which is a great name because I love the building blocks too, and I like how
Right.
you pitch that. So
Yeah.
do you do all your work in Chicago, or do you expand, or are you looking to also work in different states as well?
So right now, currently, I'm working in the Chicagoland area and Northwest Indiana area. So I haven't went any further than that, but I'm open for it. But to this date, I just been Northwest Indiana, Chicago, South suburbs, that area. Places I could get to, quickly and check on my projects. But actually, I have a friend that just reached out to me, and they have a portfolio they're looking to sell. It's in Springfield, Illinois. So, that's
Hmm.
about 3.5, 4 hours away. So,
Okay.
again, I'm open to it, but thus far I haven't done anything outside of um, Indiana and Chicagoland area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sound good.
Nice, man. Shout out to my people that's on Facebook. I see y'all, Manuel, Jasmine, Stephen, that page she was on last week. Y'all gotta catch her out. Big Vincent, what's up, y'all? So I'm just shouting out my people that's on Facebook. Shout out to you guys for hanging out with us. So tell me, Derek, like what are some daily habits that you have, that you do that creates your success or that keeps you motivated?
So I create a schedule. I like to get up, go to the gym. I just want to make sure that I put at least a good hour or two towards real estate every day, whether it's looking for deals, finding deals, or going to check on my project, make sure the contractor's doing what they're supposed to do, making phone calls. So that's every day I try to put an hour or two towards something in real estate to further my business
Okay,
in
all
those type
right,
of ways. So
for
I
sure.
would say always.
We gotta get one of them hours out you, man. You gotta come hang out with the squad, bro. We the
Oh
squad.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely,
Sure.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so so what would you say the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Best piece of advice I ever received pertaining to real estate.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna use this piece of advice, and you can apply it to whatever you want to. It's not how much money you make, it's how much money you hold on to.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go. How much money you hold on to. That's what's up. So in terms of your personal development, right? What do you seek out? Or is it like books for you? Is it like, or is there a book or so that you would kind of advise someone to read in terms of self-development?
So it's a lot of books. I've read a lot of books I need to read. I'm one of those people that once I buy a book, it might go on the shelf, and I feel like, yep, I got it. So we're good to go. So I do better with audio because I'm in my car a lot, riding a lot. So I've noticed that when I listen to the audios, I get a lot more books read, audio. But I like to read the books, just for just for the exercise purpose of the brain. But a book that stand out to me that I really, really love that I I would recommend for everybody. The first one is the one with the guy he's talking to the devil.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that book is amazing.
Yeah.
Uh,
That he
I
talking
think it's
to.
Napoleon Hill. He
Yeah,
Yeah.
talking to the
Napoleon Hill. Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is.
Come on, Facebookers. Who know that? Who know that book? I think Adepe know it. She was reading it. I believe so.
Yeah, no,
that
you're
book
right.
is amazing.
Yeah,
I'm looking back here right now to see if I can
Devil in the
see it.
Detail. No, it's Napoleon Hill. Uh, what
It's Napoleon Hill. I think it's
it's definitely Napoleon Hill.
yeah, it's
Outwitting the devil.
yeah,
Outwitting the
Outwitting the
Devil.
Devil.
Yeah, yeah.
That book is amazing. Outwitting the Devil is amazing. Um, Think and Grow Rich for sure.
Mm.
And Rich Dad Poor Dad for sure. I feel like Rich Dad Poor Dad is like the starter. You start there. Outwitting the Devil is just to help you learn how to deal with habits and being disciplined and to learn all the distractions that's out here to help knock you off your path. And Think and Grow Rich help you develop a mindset for business, to prepare and learn how to preparing and discipline yourself for business. So those are three off the top of my head I could think of that's really good for
Mhm.
shaping you, getting you ready.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, those are some very good books. Very good
Oh yeah.
book, man.
Yep.
So,
And the Outwitting the Devil, you really want to do the audio with that because then you get the voice, you get the
yeah,
devil voice talking, and then you
yeah,
get the guy asking the questions. And yeah, that book amazing.
yeah,
Amazing.
it is. It is. And I'm glad you brought that up, man. That is a
Yeah.
great book. I have to go and revise it myself. It's been a minute since I went
Oh
down
yeah.
the hill, uh, hole. So, okay. Well, with that said, how did your first deal go? What was that like? Were you nervous as far as an investor, or did you just jump right into fix and flip? Was your first deal a fix and flip, and how that go for you?
So my first deal was a buy and hold. It was a rental. It was back during the subprime lending explosion. When how I got my first deal was I knew a broker, and it was some people. They had a house they was living in, and they couldn't afford to pay the mortgage, so they was falling behind. So what this lender did, I really didn't know much. I just knew I wanted to own property. So he was able to quit quit claim this property in my name and switch it over to me. I even got some money back. I didn't bring no money to the table. I got it back about, I want to say, about 6 grand. I want to believe he got back about 7 or 8 grand, but he switched the house over to my name. So now I own the property and they became my tenants. And I believe he did that through a quick claim. I really don't know how he did it. It had to be, now that I know what I know, I believe he did a quick claim. So they became my tenants, and I became their landlord and just started collecting rent from them. And that was back in 2005, which
Wow.
the house was still upside down because I ended up losing that property later on eventually because it needed a lot of work. I just got the house and just was collecting my rent, but the property was in poor shape. So eventually later on down the line, when I end up having to put them out, and now it's like, okay, this house is in too bad condition to rent. What am I gonna do with it? And I was upside down in it, so I end up losing that property. But if I would have known what I know now, I probably would have kept that property out of, just used a strategy to get out of it. But see, that was before Renatus and the classes. I really thought my hands was tied, so I end up just letting that house go. But that was my first deal.
Okay. And he said no money. How was that? How did
And that
that
was
work?
great. That was great because I was a young man, and I'm getting a house with no money down, and in fact I'm getting money in my pocket. So I'm not paying no attention. This guy, he was a he was kind of like a mentor, but he was a slick mentor. So he yeah, he was a slick mentor. And during the subprime lending, they was getting you properties, and they was getting you money down up front, a lot of money down. I've seen a lot of deals like that where they was just getting you money for properties, based off your credit score and things like that. And yeah, that's what he was doing. He was getting busy. He was making a lot of money doing that. And but people, it came back to bite people because most of the properties it was upside down there. So
Right, right. So that was right before, kind of the crash and everything
yep,
like that.
yep, yep, yep.
Oh,
During the crash, up 05, 06, 07. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So that played a part in it.
That's what caused the crash, right? Because people was doing so many of those deals. And then people was getting these properties, and then they a lot of times they wasn't even making the first mortgage payment.
Hmm.
They was just getting this money back, and they was just walking with the money, running with the money. Some of the properties they wasn't even fixing up. They wasn't doing nothing. They was just getting their money up front, and a lot of people they weren't even into real estate. They was just into the money. So
Wow. No, I know a lot of people who fell victim to that era and doing things like
yeah,
that, not
yeah,
knowing what they're doing, and then got
yeah,
turned up down.
yeah.
So, and education, once again, being
Exactly.
educated plays a part in that. Like he said, he would have kept that first house if he'd known a little more
Yeah,
and got another strategy to get out of it. Okay,
yeah.
that sounds good, brother. That sounds good. So yeah, put a one in the chat if you like to do a no money down deal, but do it correctly because you have the education. Let me see the ones in the chat, y'all.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, so what do you feel like the toughest deal you worked on? What did that look like?
The toughest deal I've worked on.
Challenge after challenge after challenge. Because, like you said, people think that real estate is microwave. I'm gonna just put it in a microwave and
Mm-hmm.
it's all
Mm-hmm.
hot and ready, right? And so,
Oh yeah.
real estate comes with challenges, and how many challenges can you actually solve? And
Definitely.
really, it's by having those strategies, different strategies that help
Mm-hmm.
solve that challenge. So that's why I asked, what do you feel like your toughest deal
My
structure maybe, or
to this date, I want to say my toughest deal was I was doing three deals at once, and I was using one contractor who
Mhm.
tied them three deals up and took them about maybe 6, 7 months to get those deals completed. So I learned, based don't a contractor will tell you they got the manpower to do it, but a lot of times they don't.
Mhm.
So this particular project with these three deals, the contractor, he was a good contractor, but he didn't have the manpower. So he got one, two people on on a job working, and we got a time schedule. Got to pay the lender back and things like that. We looking to be out of these deals in 90 days, and yeah, it didn't work like that. So it was just
So,
I just learned if the contractor don't have the manpower, then you need to split them contractors up, maybe have a crew per project. So that was the hardest time I had with those three deals, trying to close them on time and get out of there.
so you kind of like a community guy, right?
Hmm.
What do you hope to like impact on the community through your business? Like, how do you see yourself kind of giving back to the community?
Well, just take some neighborhoods that's run down and looking bad, and revitalize them, and make them look nice, and um, give someone who looking for a home, who maybe don't have too much money, a nice home in a up and coming area.
Uh, yeah, well, I definitely like your approach. I'm definitely the can I
Oh
get
yeah,
this property as close to free as possible?
right,
Hey, if you can sign it over to me, that'll work well.
right.
So that's my negotiation game all the time. That's my first thought. Well, I can probably go and get some money for this property and pay you off. Put my name on it. And let me go and
Right.
pull that
Yeah.
equity out, right? For sure. So how do you build that rapport with your clients? What is one of your kind of like your things that you like to do in terms of
How do I build a rapport with my client? Just let them know it's a simple, easy 4 5 step guide, and I could walk them right through it, and I'm willing to hold their hand through the project, and just make it easy as possible, and just comfort them, let them know it's not as hard as it seems, especially once you get educated and you know the language, you know the steps. So
sure?
that's pretty much just trying to calm them down, and let them know it's a simple project and it's easy. You got the right people on your team, then you can make it work. It's as easy as that.
Oh man. So look how many times he said easy, y'all. Y'all, if they come to my intro, I'm striking that word out all the time because I'm saying that none of this is really easy, right?
Right.
It's simple once you learn the process. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If you done did the process a number of times, then it becomes simple. But easy word, woo wee. It kind of it leads people down this path of like, oh, what do you mean I want to take an 8 hour training to make $100,000? No, that 8 hours is too long. Why don't you just show me? And it's like,
Right.
really? You know what I'm saying? It just don't be adding up.
Hmm.
Right?
But then
So
they'll go work 8 hours for $20 an hour or less.
exactly,
They'll
That's
take
exactly,
the
the
thing.
time. Yeah.
for
Oh yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah.
So 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 I guess I want to ask like what, because we did ask you your classes that kind of big difference in your world, right? Um,
Hmm.
what are those strategies for keeping rental properties profitable? Like what strategies do you utilize to keep your rental properties profitable?
The strategy I use, whenever I go into a deal and I'm looking to make it a rental property, I would like to make at least $500 on top of my mortgage for each rental property. Now, of course, that's not always easy, but I'll take anywhere from $300 to $500 off each rental property, because my motto is it adds up. With the more amount of rentals. Of course, you're not gonna make a killing off of you gotta play Monopoly. You gotta let them add up for to see some real money. And again, anywhere if I'm seeing profits from 3 to 500 times 10 times it, you know what I mean? I look every 10, you know what I'm saying? That's 3 to 5,000 uh annually. A little, yeah, somewhere around there. So I mean, you just gotta make it add up, you know, in increments of 10. That's how I look at it. So
And I say
Mm.
that all the time. Everybody has their number. So if you are a
yeah.
flipper, in my case, I ain't doing that flip unless I'm making 40 grand. Everybody has
Hmm.
a number, right? If I'm
Hmm.
a buying whole person, I'm gonna need I need at least 1,200 a month for my rental properties, right?
Right.
Now, cash
Right.
flow wise, like you said, 500, that's a decent, that's a
Yeah.
decent cash flowing door right there, right? You
Oh yeah.
know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
And so that's a bill out of the way. Some people car notes or whatever, So
Exactly.
um, I definitely hear you on that. Well, before we transition to the announcements, I want you to how do you hire the right team members? How do you like navigate through finding the right team members?
I like to do interviews on the people I hire, and then some of my people that's helping me out on the team I've known over time, and then when it come to like contractors, they'll show you their work and things like that. But I always like to put them to the test, start with small projects, something simple, and working to the bigger projects. I've learned that through trial and error. You just don't throw anybody on anything, because they'll say anything to get the deal. So just kind of put them through trial and error. And that's the good thing about having the rentals. I'll start them with a little maintenance work, just see how they handle it before I move them to a big project like a rehab or fix and flip, something like that. So
Got you. I
I'll
asked
take
that
a picture.
question because it seemed like Tisha trying to get on your team. So maybe Tisha, you in an interview right now, Tisha.
I,
But we
I'm gonna,
gonna
I'm gonna ask you one more before we get to the scheduling. You said earlier paying too much for the property. How does someone get to the point where they're not paying too much for the property? What's that process so they don't overpay for a property? What do they look for or what do you look for to not overpaying for a property?
So you just got to run the numbers. You gotta know the ARV, which is the after repair value, and you got to know how much work it's going to take to get this property where you need it to be. So it's just all about running the numbers. You start from the top and go backwards. Start
Hmm.
from the after repair value and go backwards. You look at the comps in the area and see what the other properties is going for, and you just subtract the work that needs to be done, the holding costs, things like that, and you kind of come up with the number you can pay.
Hmm. All
That's
right.
most important. You got to know what you're getting into.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. I just wanted to put that out there for the people in the back and make sure they heard that, especially if you're brand new coming in this community, things that we look for, things that you'll be able to learn.
Right.
So I wanted to get that,
And
from you.
also you wanna have your exit strategy together. You wanna know if this don't go the way you want it to go, how you gonna get out of this thing. You're gonna refi, how you gonna sell it, are you gonna rent it? Definitely have your exit strategy also, just in case.
There you go.
need to
Yeah,
know some extra strategies. Don't be a
yeah,
one-trick pony, right?
right, exactly.
There you go. Just in case the market switch on you and it's not doing what it's supposed to do, you have to get out of there.
Right,
I know
exactly.
a lot of fixing people done a lot of fixing flips that they couldn't get rid of, and now they still holding them. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that's what it
Let's
is.
see. So I another thing that I learned whenever you go into a property, you should first go in looking at the cash flow, just in case you do have to hold it. Then you look at the appreciation value and so forth. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and that kind of came from the crash, because right, you go into a property and the values and everything is good when it start, but then the crash hit and now you're stuck with it, and it's a mess if you can't cash flow off of it renting it, that's a real mess. So
Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree with you more. All right,
mhm.
all right. Make some noise for Derek, y'all. Put the flames in the chat. Put the shout outs in the chat, y'all. Let's get it going, man. Big up to Derek bringing you the juice this Sunday morning. We appreciate you, brother. All right,
Definitely.
we're gonna go into the scheduling, go into the announcements of what's going on today. All right, all right. If you are brand new, this is your first time here, your third time here, and you're still getting used to the community, please bring out your phones and take some pictures of what's about to happen so we can let you know where you have to go after this. Or if you need some more information, please let us know. All right, cool. Let's go, Jay.
Can you hear you?
Oh, to the calendar.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, you good? All right, all right. Every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. This is where you want to be. The Juice Show podcast, where we bringing you the juice. The Juice Show involves us uh, basically talking with the students in the community, where they're at, how they started, how they found this, how they found the community, and what they're doing and being connected. So this is every Sunday. All right, we don't skip a beat. Some people might want to put their feet up and relax. No, we're here every Sunday bringing you the juice, so you can count on us to be there to get this information. All right. So tell your friends if you're coming alone, you know, talk to somebody. Make sure you get family and friends involved too, or somebody in your community to let you know. All right. Coming right up with our very own Mr. J.R. Jerry Ruffin. All right. He's gonna let you know who we are, what we do, and how you can get involved. All right. This, if you're brand new and you've seen this for the first time, you're not just gonna watch this introduction and be able to do a deal right after you come out of it. All right. There's no skipping steps. All right, that's today, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern, right here. The introduction, getting you to know the classes that we took and everything like that. He's going to be going through them. All right. Do we have? Is it the mastermind or is
Nope,
it?
it's the property tour. Today is
It's
the
the
property
property tour.
tour. So we on
Yes. All right. So today, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, we got a short-term rental property tour. All right. We got a short-term rental property tour. All right. And the short-term rental, for most people, they call them Airbnbs. You good, brother? You good, man? Um, so that's today, and that's one of our students showcasing their property live. All right. So if you're interested in Airbnbs, this is where you want to be today, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. Get with the person who invited you so you can get that information so they can get you to that training. All right. They're going to be going through intricate details, the furniture, how the community works together, everything. So check it out. All right. If you are on Facebook, everybody have a Facebook out there? All right. If you have a Facebook out there, please like, follow, and review the Jew Show podcast page. All right. This is where we're at. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you like, follow, and review. Let us know if you have any suggestions, people you want to see on here. Please let us know. This is where it happens. All right. Any past podcast episodes that you missed or you came in this one late, you can go back here and you can see everything lined up for you. Matter of fact, you can go back to our earliest one and see our progress and where we're at because we're always getting better. The structure, what we're doing, man. Going back and looking at our earlier podcast, man, you can you can tell, everybody was green. We was trying to find our way, but now, we hear the hottest podcast about real estate investing that you want to be a part of. So let a friend know. All right. Cool. All right. Right now we got deals of the community, immunity. All right, this is where we get to showcase our very own students on what they're doing and get to spotlight their name up in here who's actually doing deals, taking action from the classes, connecting with people in the community, and making something happen. All right. So this is deals of the community. We get to showcase everybody who's working right now and seeing your name in bright light. So if you're active, please let us know. We'll get your name up there. We got Derek's name up there as well, brother. We get you up there as well, man, because we know you putting
Yeah,
in that
definitely.
putting in that work, brother. So we got to spotlight you too, man. So next week you on there, brother. So
Okay, appreciate that.
absolutely, man. We got to keep everything current. Make sure everybody's up there, man. Get their props. Let them know what you're doing, man. So there you go, brother. Any questions in the chat or LaShawn?
Y-
Any questions or
Yes, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Tisha says, what's more important, appreciate rate or cash flow? Repeat that again.
Yep,
It's
go
what's
ahead.
more important, appreciation rate or cash flow? What's more
Uh,
important?
well, tell her that's up to her. Whichever one she think is most important, and
Uh,
and it just depends what she trying to do. What's her goal? What she trying to do? They both important, so
can you give an example of, which one would be more important to you, or does it depend on the deal?
it depends on the deal.
The deal.
So for
Okay.
me right now, for what I'm doing, I'm focused more on the cash flow versus the appreciation. But I'll do both. So I will guess she mean it with the appreciation that's more like geared towards a fix and flip. So I will do a fix and flip, but right now I'm just focusing on the buy and holds for my cash flow. So again,
Okay.
I just feel like it depends what's important to her. If she's looking to just make a big lump sum of money right away, or is she looking to grow her portfolio where she's making a nice sum of money monthly? So
And for the ones that might not be knowledgeable enough to know, I mean, cash flow, we look at, okay, cash flow, how much you're bringing in after everything has been paid, and
right.
what you get to keep. But the appreciation rate, if you can elaborate on that a little bit more for people that might not know what that means.
So um again, when what
Kinda
she's saying,
simplify it.
the appreciation rate. I'm a little confused on that. What exactly does she mean by appreciation rate?
Tisha, are you able to come off of mute?
I am, thank you.
Mhm.
So appreciation rate essentially is the growth rate of the property over time. So as typically single family homes grow at a faster rate than a building. So it's the rate of growth over time. So I would anticipate if you are in a buy and hold strategy, yes, the cash flow is important, but the value in which the property appreciates over time, you can anticipate when you go to sell the property eventually that you can expect X. So depending on your purchase strategy or your exit strategy, which Mr. Seymour alluded to, you want to be able to prioritize what's more important, your appreciation rate or the cash flow. That's why I kind of asked the question.
Oh, okay. I got what you're saying. So I would say both. I don't want a property that's not going to appreciate. So um, yeah, anything I buy, I want to make sure it will appreciate. Even though you have some areas that they say you're not going to get no appreciation, you may get cash flow, but you may don't get no appreciation. So I like to stick to properties that's going to appreciate in value and also cash flow.
Hey, I'm gonna touch on that a little bit as well. So that question is a great question. First off, I want to say to you, Tisha, that appreciation is going to go by your market analysis. You got to kind of do your analysis on that particular market because it's going to vary across the board. So wherever you go, different markets are going to appreciate differently, right?
Mhm.
And so you can't really, or if you come to any of the coaching that we have, you get coached based on don't rely or don't run your numbers on appreciation, right? If you run your numbers on appreciation, that could hurt you in the long run because that market may not appreciate in terms
Yeah,
of what you are anticipating. So again, it's more of digging into, like, those are the fine details of real estate investing that people overlook. Why I just can't go with you, Derek, and go on your next deal and learn how you do it? That's only one deal. That's only one specific transaction. All transactions are different, right? And so there's no two of the same type of transactions. So in terms of appreciation, it will vary from market to market. I hope that answers
right.
the question.
Especially, and then also if the market crash, then there go your appreciation.
For
So
sure.
yeah, you got to kind of be careful.
Yeah. Don't
That
be
just takes us
analyzing your
back to
numbers on appreciation. For sure.
which
Yeah.
takes us back to what we were saying earlier when I was saying when you look at a deal, you first base it on cash flow, just in case a market do crash, and because if you go in and you buy for the appreciation, and then for whatever reason the market crashed, then there go all your appreciation. So that's out the window. Yeah, but appreciation is good because appreciation leads to equity, and we
Yes.
all know equity is is,
Yeah.
is definitely a plus. So
Any more questions? What you got?
There aren't any more questions in the chat here. Are there any on Facebook?
Nope. No, none on Facebook, but shout out to my Facebookers. We had a few on today. Um, man, Derek, man, it's been good, bro. I'm like at a loss of words of how you've navigated your way through this thing and your longevity, you sticking around. Like, some
oh
people
yeah,
don't have that stay power, right?
right,
And
yeah,
so learning your way through and like you say, navigating your way through, you in the buy and hold strategies. And so I'm excited to have you on today. I appreciate you coming and sharing your story.
definitely.
And we definitely want to have you back, man. Hear what that success look like.
Anytime.
Can you share with the people, right? People
Mhm.
that still here, like, what do you feel like you want to leave the people with, right? If they're on the fence thinking about doing some real estate, what kind of piece of advice would you like to leave to them?
I would tell them real estate is a beautiful thing, especially if you like it. You just gotta get the education and get the know-how. It's a journey, just going through the process, making something that doesn't look like making something that don't look good. And once you finish and you see what you created, you be happy, and you're even happier when you get a good check from what you did and you put the work into it. And it pans out how it's supposed to. It's a great feeling. Like nothing feels better than when you do a project and you get to that closing table and you get that check and it's like, okay, on to the next one, and you get this done and you look up and you have a nice little portfolio. Nothing feel good than getting those direct deposits at the beginning of the month, coming to your account. So you got good, you got bad, but the good is the good. So anybody that's thinking about doing real estate or doing it and you have that passion, then it can be a good thing.
I'm gonna have
Especially once you systemize it and you get all your pieces to the puzzle and your team together and it becomes easy. So
nice.
it,
Well, you heard it, guys. We look forward to seeing Derek come and hanging out with the team, sharing all of his little niches and things that he has learned, man. And so I'm sure Jay, if he was here, he would tell you he appreciates you coming on to the show, man. You guys is what make this show, right? And so your stories is all compelling. Hopefully somebody you touch someone, definitely. And man, thanks for coming on, brother.
yeah, thank you all as well. I appreciate the invite. Much love, much appreciated, and I'm looking forward to coming back.
Oh,
So thank y'all as well.
what you got, LaShawn?
I was gonna say, I know that you see all the gems and fire emojis and hearts and just clapping hands that you are here sharing, because you could be any place else, and sometimes people that start to become successful don't want to give back or share, and we appreciate you, coming on here and sharing that, and getting everybody else to see that there's so much more real estate to be done out there. It's just a matter of jumping in, plugging in, and doing it. But from my standpoint, it's nice to meet you because I hear this name and I'm like, well, what is this person all about? So that's what I like about this show is we get to know the person and behind the business. And so I'm
Right.
glad you were able to spend an hour with us. It went by fast, so we definitely want to see you come back on again and hear what you're up
Definitely.
to. So thank
And
you.
Angela on Facebook, she said, we've been juiced.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah,
juice is loose.
yeah. We're gonna get to that part, Angela. We're definitely gonna get to it. All right, so I guess we're gonna get to it right now. So, Derek, yeah, man, this has been great, bro. And this is my first introduction to you, so it was nice meeting you, and
Likewise.
you spending this time with us, letting us your journey and where you plan on going. Like you said, we look forward to having you back, brother. Second time coming around to see where you're at and what you accomplished since then. So
Definitely.
definitely, brother. We appreciate your time. So,
Likewise. Likewise.
and with that said, everybody, thank you for sharing another sensational Sunday with us here on the Juice Show. And you have been
Been
juiced.
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 Thanks, guys.
Have a good
All
night.
right.
You
All
guys
right,
enjoy the
y'all.
weekend. Have a good one. We'll talk to y'all soon.
All right. Take it easy.